All right, let's look at the early college football games this week. I don't mean early on Saturday, I mean early this week. Thursday and Friday games, there are 6 of them, and some ranked teams in action, including number 15 Washington at UCLA. Also have San Diego State at Boise State. We're going to get picks for all 6 from Emory Hunt, joining us on behalf of Sportsline. Emory, let's start with that game between Utah State and BYU. That would have been a great matchup last season. Utah State won the Mountain West, and I don't know what's happened this season. They've had maybe the biggest drop-off of any team in college football. Is 24 points enough at BYU?
It depends, man, but I got to give some love to Provo. That was the first place where I had In-N-Out Burger, so much love to Provo, Utah. Out there. But this game to me is a scary one because BYU tends to get bored within ball games. So 24 points does seem like a lot, but they got one of the best quarterbacks in the country in Jaron Hall, and I think they're going to get it back to what we saw earlier in the year from these guys. So I feel comfortable laying these 24 with the Cougars.
In-N-Out Burger, you get the animal style there, Emory?
No, I got it regular. If you got to put all these extra things on fries, the fries are not that good. I'm a fat burger guy myself.
I'm with you. See? You can learn a few things from Emory and myself.
No, you need all that extra stuff. And a double-double.
Let's go to an American Conference opener between Tulane and Houston. Both of those teams have been hard to figure out in non-conference. Houston favored by 2.5 at home.
I like Tulane in this game, so I'm taking Tulane in the points. They're very fundamentally sound. They don't beat themselves. They are assignment sound in terms of how they execute on defense and on offense. If Michael Pratt, the quarterback, doesn't throw that pick 6 last weekend against Southern Miss, they're undefeated going into this ball game. So because they're so disciplined in how they operate on offense, we saw them beat Kansas State, who bounced Oklahoma this past weekend. Shout out to Amanda on this one. But you also look at the fact that Green Wave do a great job on both sides of the ball. So I'm taking Tulane in the points here.
Piling on Amanda on this segment here. Really intriguing matchup, I think, anyway, in Conference USA Friday night. UTSA, they won Conference USA last season, favored to repeat this season. They are giving 5 at Middle Tennessee, coming off that blowout of Miami.
Now, here's the thing. Middle Tennessee may still be excited and high from knocking out the Hurricanes, but, we talked about this before, how everyone is always on Miami being back, Texas being back, and Kirk Cousins being back and all that stuff like that. And here we are. So this game is going to go bananas. We've seen this happen for UTSA all throughout the season. They played in back and forth affairs. Even that Texas game was a wild one before Texas got control and really pulled away. So I see this one being a lot closer. To me, 5.5 seems like a lot of points. So take Middle Tennessee in the points here. We're expecting a 3-point to 2-point game here between these two teams.
And that one is on CBS Sports Network on Friday. Also, a normally great matchup in the Mountain West. San Diego State and Boise State. Broncos 5.5-point favorites at home. Both teams have taken some lumps in the non-con already.
And this was going to be a physical game. And as they always are with San Diego State in their point of attack play, Jonah Tavai is one of the best defensive linemen in the country. And I think because of how they're able to apply pressure, and because of what we saw last week and how UTEP got it together defensively and really took it to Boise State up front at the point of attack, I can only expect San Diego State with a better defensive front, with a better offensive line, better run game to do the same against Boise State. So I like San Diego State here.
Okay, Emory, the biggest matchup of the Thursday and Friday slate is in the Pac-12. It's at the Rose Bowl. 4-0 UCLA hosting 4-0 Washington. The 15th ranked Huskies favored by 2.5. We've had a lot of jokes about the amount of fans that are not at UCLA games this season, but got to be a decent crowd for this one, right?
Yeah, it's probably going to be a Washington home game because of how UCLA does not decide to show up to a beautiful stadium at the Rose Bowl, beautiful place to catch a game, and a very fun team to watch, very entertaining team. But the thing about UCLA, you don't know which team will show up in the first half, because they tend to start slow or they'll start fast and collapse late. So because of that, and because Washington's defense, to me, is better this year than what we saw last year, and they're getting great play from Michael Penix, who is in his 17th season of eligibility. I don't know how he's still a junior after missing 2 seasons of injury at Indiana. So I think because he's playing well, he's starting to add touch to his passes. He's starting to do a lot of great things from the pocket like we saw earlier in his Indiana career. I just like the way they're playing right now, and I think I can trust him more so at this point than UCLA. So I love Washington in this spot. Undefeated Pac-12 football.
Yeah, look out. They could be a playoff contender by the end of this season. One more game to pick. It's the late game on Friday night, CBS Sports Network, Mountain West. 3-1 UNLV. They've already won more games this season than they have since the 2019 season pre-COVID. 16-point favorites at home against New Mexico.
We just watched New Mexico get shut out in Death Valley against LSU. And I'm not saying UNLV is right there with LSU, but this is Marcus Arroyo's best football team he's had out there in Vegas. Doug Brumfield is doing a great job at the quarterback position. But when you're talented on both sides of the ball, like UNLV has shown to be this season, and they're playing with confidence, they're now expecting to win games. And they've shown they can win any type of game. They can win the blowout fashion. They can come back and win a tight game. I think they take care of business here. They avoid the letdown versus a one-dimensional New Mexico Lobos offense. So I love UNLV in all those points as well.
Which state has the worst college football right now? Is it New Mexico or is it Colorado?
Oh, wow. It has to be Colorado. They just got the break speed off of them by Sacramento State of the FCS. Yeah. Like, Colorado State is terrible right now. Colorado is terrible. The only thing that's holding that state together right now is Northern Colorado. Shout out to Coach McCaffrey out there with his Bears in the FCS in the Big Sky Conference.
Yeah, and Air Force as well. Not too bad either. But when you're looking at state schools, Colorado State, worse than New Mexico State, and that's saying a lot. Emory Hunt with us here on CBS Sports HQ, giving us some picks for the Thursday and Friday games in college football. 6 picks. BYU minus 24 at home against Utah State. Tulane getting 2.5 at Houston. Middle Tennessee getting 5 at home against UTSA. The Aztecs, they'll take those 5.5 points at Boise. Washington to stay unbeaten and cover the 2.5 against UCLA. And UNLV to win their 4th game of the season already and cover that 16 points against New Mexico. Sportsline, $1 to join right now. Your first month is just $1 when you use the promo code TROPHY at sportsline.com/join.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.